Hey, Shalom, first and foremost, only of all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, peace and salutation to the Akim, to the elect that are scattered across the four corners of this earth, pushing the truth and faith and sincerity. All right, I'm Shamala from the GMS Houston Camp. This lesson is going to be, going into self-control, all right, and being disciplined. You see, because that's going to be a key factor, right, in his faith, because you can't control yourself or have some type of self-control over your emotions. You're not gonna make it that far. All right. This truth is about endurance. All right. We gotta make it unto the end. All right. We gotta develop, the type of mindset, the mental fortitude, all right, the faith, just to keep pushing each and every day. No matter the things that we have to face, the things that we have to go through, no matter how we feel, if we feel like doing things or not. Ultimately, we have a job to do, and we got to complete those tasks and be disciplined. All right. This is this quote I see from this website. I go and it's a Stoic quotes about discipline. It says, "For a man to conquer himself is the first and noblest of all victories." Right, because you are your greatest enemy, especially like with being in this flesh. All right, the flesh is gonna be your greatest enemy. All right, sometimes you just ain't gonna have it or feel like doing things that are necessary in the spirit, right? That are necessary for you to do, right? Going to camp, doing the lessons, studying, getting you reading, and all right, constantly upgrading yourself, through the spirit or through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. You gotta constantly, do these things. You know, um, and disregard, the emotion that you might feel at that time. And that goes into being disciplined. All right, now let me just go to that real quick. Look up that discipline. It says training that makes people more willing to obey or more able to control themselves. Right. It says often in form of rules, punishment, these are broken, or behavior produced by this training. It says the ability to control yourself or other people, even in difficult situations. Right, difficult situations could be, like I said, with studying. You wake up, you don't feel like it, you feel tired. All right, and some days you might lose those fights, but ultimately you want to, win, right, majority of them, and discipline yourself in difficult and tough situations, right? To control yourself to still do what you have to do, still take care of business. Let's see. To teach someone to behave in a controlled way, right? Basically, the things that we're supposed to do on a daily, we constantly do these things, right? Regardless of the situation. And, every situation is different, you know, and others for the most part. You want to discipline ourselves and not be led astray because of emotions, because of, outside world events, and get too caught up with things going on in this place. If I get lazy, get sluggish. Discipline training that produces obedience or self-control often in the form of rules and punishment. These are both broken, basically the same thing that we read up there. But obedience and self-control. All right, discipline is also the ability to control a mental activity. All right, it says right here, learning a foreign language requires discipline. Right, because if you go learn something, you got to stick to it and be consistent with it. You can't do it one day, then 2, 3 weeks down the line, you want to do it again. No, you gotta constantly get into this. It's the same thing for the truth. All right. Oh, this is it right here. The ability, the ability to make yourself do something, even if it's difficult, so that you can achieve a goal. And that's it right there. I ain't gotta look no further. All right. The ability to make yourself do something, even if it is difficult, so that you can achieve a goal. And what are we trying to achieve? The kingdom of heaven. So you do it, even if it is difficult, even if the flesh telling you, nah, bro, just chill out. It just be lazy. You ain't gotta do it right now. Do it tomorrow. Or do it the next day. Ain't nobody watching. Uh, this is for you. This is for your crown. And this is for your salvation. And we all gotta, be disciplined, right, in this truth to be able to achieve this goal. All right. But let's get 1 Corinthians 9:24. It says, know ye not that they which running a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. So in a race, people are competing to receive a reward. Right? They do it, they in this race to receive a reward. All right. And a trophy or whatever you want to call it, right? And in this truth, we are here to receive a reward, which is salvation, which is the kingdom of heaven. All right. So we running to obtain that salvation, to obtain that reward, to obtain that crown. All right. But this is a marathon. This is not something that, you just finna come in, you just finna be sprinting, you see, or, you're finna just try to give it your all, one day, 2 day, or 3 days, right? And then the rest of the days you just kind of off. It's not about that. It's about going at a consistent basis, because a person that's consistent can beat somebody who tries to put all the energy into something just for a couple of days and then fall off, then come back and put the energy all back into it again. A person that's consistent is way better than a person like that, right? Because you coming in, or you starting to, let's say you start a marathon, a race like that, and you just start out sprinting, you running faster than everybody. Of course, yeah, you're gonna be ahead, but eventually those people are gonna catch up to you because they're going at a consistent basis, and they're doing this thing, they going in at a consistent rate. Right? So it's a thing of endurance. And when you go into endurance, it says the ability to keep doing something difficult, unpleasant, or painful for a long time. All right. So this is to do something difficult for a while, not just for today, not just for tomorrow, but every single day. All right. You have the ability, right, through the spirit of Yahweh Shemyash, of course, is to keep going and be consistent, right, through all of the things that we may face on a day to day. Right? And that's really it on that. It says, and everyone that striveth for the master is temperate in all things, right? We are striving, right, for the masteries, right? Let's go into that real quick. Striving for the mastery.
Strong's G75, Agonizamai. Agonizamai.
Turns to a contest, content in the gymnastic games, to contend with adversaries, to contend with adversaries, fight, metaphor to contend, struggle with difficulties and dangers, to endeavor with strenuous zeal, strive to obtain something. It says fight, labor, fervently strive to accomplish something. And we trying to accomplish what? We trying to measure up to Yahweh Shah. Right, that's what we trying to do in this truth. Because Yahweh Shah is the greatest example of all things. Like Hebrews 12 says that Yahweh Shah is the author and finisher of our faith. He set forth the greatest example. And to strive to be like our Lord, he said you have to be temperate. And you go into this word temperate.
Strong's G 1467. Ekratuamai. Ekratuamai.
It says to be self-controlled, right? Continence, right? Let's look up this word. Contented. Matter of fact. Mm, 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 mm. You ain't really going into nothing on there. Let's see what Google got to say. Definition. All right. All right, let's try the etymon. Self-restraining. All right, abstaining from or moderate sexual intercourse. It says holding yourself together. That's what it's going into. That's self-control. To exhibit self-government, conduct oneself temporarily. And a figure drawn from athletes who, in preparing themselves for the games, abstain from unwholesome food, wine, and sexual indulgence. Why? Why do they do this? It says now they do it to attain a corruptible crown. So whatever type of championship that they might get, or whatever type of trophy, whatever type of award or medal, they discipline themselves to eat right. They got to be on point with eating. They got to be on point with their sleep. They got to be on point with their exercising, right? How much of pleasure they're actually indulging into, because that can be their downfall. So they do this thing on a consistent basis to be the greatest, to be the best in their fields, consistently each and every day. And so they do it to inherit a corruptible crown, but it says we incorruptible. Talking about the kingdom of heaven. So we gotta have that same type of discipline and apply it to this faith, to our walk in this truth. Yeah. We gotta eat right for the most part. Man, sometimes you might be going through some financial trouble here and there, but for the most part, you gotta eat right. Right. Um, you gotta, drink your water all the time, stay hydrated, right? Stay on the herbs for when you get sick. Um, it's just so you can operate at your best health in this thing, right? So that, because if you got great health, you would be in a completely, different type of spirit, right? And you would um be operating at your best in this thing, in this truth. All right. Like I said, eating right, studying consistently, constantly going into words, right? Constantly going into the breakdowns, right? Just constantly and consistently doing these things each and every day. Right? That's how we're going to get the masteries. All right. It says, I therefore so run not as uncertainly, right? So fight I, not as one that beateth the air. So we're running not uncertainly. We know why we in this thing for. We know what we're trying to achieve, and it should be in your mind every day to keep you disciplined to work towards that goal. It says not as one that beateth the air, right? Like a shadow box, and you don't have a target. We have a target. We know the direction that we're heading towards. He says, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, right? Bringing your body under the rule, right? You having rule over yourself. That's that temperance. That's that self-control. All right. That's that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. You don't want to be a castaway. You don't want to teach others what to do, and you're not even subjecting yourself onto your own teachings, until what you're telling others to do. You're going to castaway, not standing the test, not approved properties of metals and coins, that would just not prove itself as it ought, unfit, unproved spirits, reprobate void of judgment for the light. You ain't really operating in this understanding. So you unfit for what? The kingdom. All right. It says, and bring it to subjection, because I mentioned you have to teach yourself. You have to subject yourself to these teachings. Romans, let's see. Hmm. I think it's in this chapter. Let me see. Let me search it. That's in Romans for sure. Now I ended off with that though. Hmm. Here you go. This is Romans 2:21. Thou therefore which teaches another, teaches not thyself. Thou that preachest a man should not steal, doest thou steal? Thou that says a man should not commit adultery, doest thou commit adultery? Thou that abhorrest idols, do thou commit sacrilege? Thou that makest thy boast of the law, through the breaking of the law, dishonorest thou the Most High. Right, so you got to be able to teach yourself before you teach anybody. The things that you're saying, you got to make sure you applying these things. All right. So yeah, man, that's the lesson going on being disciplined. I read this quote again. For a man to conquer himself is the first and noblest of all victories. If you can have some self-control over yourself, right, and conquer yourself, which putting yourself into subjection, right, then hey, you are on the road to salvation, right? And you keep doing that until the end and adhere to the end. All right, so with that, I'm gonna say shalom.